So for this tutorial, we will learn how to create the edit function. Right? So for the first, right, we will modify and create with the new page edit product.black.php, the new interface for edit products. Okay. So overall, the user interface we can copy from the insert products. And after that, we will modify the insert ID and uh, hide the product ID or set the read only for the product ID. So from the insert category black.php, you can copy and paste over here, right? So, right. So we will set we'll set first about the user UI. We set first about the UI. Okay. Right. I think I create the route first, right? The route, right? The route for the uh, uh, edit products. Okay. So you have the two part. Part A, there is a retrieve the data from the database. Okay. So you can set the route over here. Where's the route? Route, right? So we will select the route, right? We select the route, right? So the route start from the new address, following by the ID we will pass to the edit function inside the product controller. Of course, you provide one of the route name. Okay. So after you have the route, okay, uh, you can setting about your user interface. Okay. So the user interface, we will get the data from the uh, edit function inside the product controller. Okay. So we will set there is a data we will get from the product, right? The product controller, right? One is start and end function, right? So and after that, right, we set the ID that is read only, right? Right. So user is not allow the user to edit the product ID. Okay, so we set that read only for the form. Okay, and we will display the product ID inside the edit form. Right. So after that, for the product name and for the category, right? So the category we also will get from the category table. Okay, so after we done the edit function from the product controller, we also will return the result for all category. Okay, so if the category ID match with the record inside the product, it will display and it will come out the text selected. Selected means inside the HTML is it will focus in the list. And it will focus the list. Okay, and after that is display the quantity from the record, price from the record, description from the record. Okay, and finally there's a edit. Change the edit name. Right, change the edit name. Okay, so the inside can close. Okay. So inside the product controller, we will insert the new function for edit, public function edit. Right. So if you retrieve, right, if you receive the ID, where is the ID? ID is from here. You're passing the ID to the product edit controller. So after you get the ID, you search the record inside the product table. Right. So product all means select all from product, following by the where. ID means ID equal to ID you're passing to the URL. So the result will assign to the variable product, and we will passing back to the edit product. Because we want to using the category, of course, we will passing one more parameter for category. Except, okay, and we will back to the, of course, we back to the show product, okay, show product. Okay. So we need to add on the edit route address. Okay. So you can modify, you can modify the route, and after that using the edit product, the name should be same with the name edit product. Right? Following by the ID lah. Passing ID. There is the product ID over here. Right? Set. So after you run, right? Okay. So suppose when you click on the edit button, if you call the record from the database, right? Click edit. Okay, you call the record. Right? So here there is a category lah. You can edit. Okay. So phone, quantity, price, description, right? Except the image. The image part we will apply later on. We will apply later on. So there's a part A. When you click edit button, you retrieve the record from the database. Right? So for the part B, means after we done edit the data, so we will click update button. Right? We click update button, edit button, okay, and update the record inside the database table. Okay. So for the first, of course, we need the one more route, right? Update product, update product. So we need to create a new route. Here we're using the post. Why? Why we using the post? Because there is the form. We click edit, the form method, there is a post. So we're using the post, right? So you can given the one URL, right? Call the controller. Inside the controller, we're using the function update, and of course we need to define the one route name. So the second one is inside the controller, we need to create a new function update, right? So there is the important part. Okay. So inside controller, we add one more. Okay, public function update, right? So here we will receive the data r equal to request, right? So we will post that, right? We will post. So here we set one. If we are receive the user update the image, so we upload the file to the public folder. If no, right? So we will ignore we will ignore the product image name. Okay. Right. So after that, there is it should be the up. This should be the highest. It should be the highest. Right? Should be the highest first. Okay. So the first we will call the product first. Call the record, right? Based on the ID lah. Based on the ID. So you need to check there is an ID or not. Right? So you need to check here is an ID or not. Right? ID there is a capital letter. Okay, so here should be used the capital letter. Capital letter. Okay. Okay. So alpha if upload image. Okay. So there is a product name. Okay, so you need to check about there's a name or not. Name, description, price. Checking about the spelling. Category ID, go to ID. Full name. There's a full name or not? I don't think there's a title. Title. Category ID. It's a title. Title. Okay. So category ID. Check. Right? So you need to check ID. There's small letter. ID. Okay. R dot price quantity description. Okay. Set. Right. Set. So you done, right? When you done, you set. Okay. So the logic behind is you using the product. If you binding with the ID, right? The product ID, the record inside the product, right? So if the data available, right, updated, if you binding the data with the new uh, record value, you bind with the form data, right? So after done everything, it will be saved. Product save means if you update the data into the record, right? So after done everything, of course, we will back to the main page. We back to the main page. Check is it there is a the product is ready or not. All product. Right? So we set lah. So we check is it working or not. Okay. So we refresh first. Okay. So we change product ID cannot be changed. Okay. So we update quantity lah to 50. Price there is a 1999. Right. Oppo F1. Okay. Okay. So we click edit. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Not a product. There is a update product. Update product. Update product. Okay. Update product. Okay, so we go to the result. Oppo F1 50 199. Okay. Descriptions. Okay. So oh, capital letter. Capital letter. So F1 D 1999. Edit. quantity, quantity also calculated quantity. Okay, 1999. Okay, so finally we update lah 199950 of all F1. Okay, so that's all.